Are you or a loved one facing the tough decision between in-home care and assisted living? Well, there are a lot of similarities and differences that you should know about before making this important decision, and we're here to help you break those all down. Both approaches aim to provide care, assistance, and support to you or a loved one, but they differ significantly in terms of environment, level of care, cost, and overall experience. Now, in this video, we are assuming that you or a loved one needs a higher level of care and are no longer able to live independently. So let's take a closer look at the two options to fully understand their differences. But first, let's talk about the services that are offered at both of them. So at both of them, you're gonna have housekeeping, personal hygiene, meal prep, medication management, mobility support, and even medical treatment. All right, so let's start with our first one, environment. So the environment of in-home care is pretty self-explanatory. It's in your home. So I don't know what else I can say about that, but care is happening in the home. Caregivers are coming to the home and you are, what they like to say in the industry, aging in place. Now, assisted livings, on the other hand, they're more apartment-like communities or even like nice hotels. And so they could have as few as 8 to 10 rooms up to 50 or 100 at larger communities. But again, this is communal type living. And then there's also residential care facilities for the elderly, or RCFEs. And these are actually kind of like a hybrid. It's assisted living, but in a residential house. So believe it or not, you might have some in your own neighborhood. So you would have your own room per se in a residential home and getting all the care and stuff like that. All right, now let's take a look at customized care and personal attention. So in-home care, gonna have one caregiver that is focusing 100% on you all the time. Okay, so you're getting all those services that we listed earlier, but it's just for you. Now, at assisted living, you're still gonna be getting those services, but the care is going to be spread out between many different staff members. So you could be having medical staff, the dining room staff, activities staff, housekeeping staff, etc. So you're still getting higher levels of care, but it's just not personalized attention. I should say personalized attention for one-on-one attention. So I like to relate it to taking an exercise class. Let's say you sign up for a class at the gym or Pilates or yoga, whatever you're into, and you take a class and there's 10 people in there. There's one instructor for all 10 of you. Now that instructor is going around, seeing how everybody's doing, but it's just one instructor for 10 people compared to if you're going to do a private lesson or get with a personal trainer where it's like for that 50-minute class, they're just focusing on you 100% of the time. All right, now let's talk about social interaction and engagement. Well, this is a big one as there are so many studies out there about lifelong longevity created by happiness or social interaction. So while caregivers do provide companionship, seniors receiving in-home care might need to put in additional effort to maintain social connection outside their home. Now, residents at assisted living communities benefit from built-in social opportunities due to the shared living environment, organized activities, communal dining, and shared spaces, which enhances social interaction. Now, this can be particularly beneficial for combating the feelings of isolation. Now, just a couple more talking points, then we're going to dive into one of the biggest factors, and that's the cost differences. Now, if you are leaning towards assisted living and would like help finding the right community near you, just click the link down below in the pinned comments to set up a time to talk with me. All right, now let's talk about family involvement. Well, with in-home care, it might be easier for your family to come by and be visiting. The reason for that is if you do have family close by, they're used to coming by the home, they're used to dropping in.
Hi. Hello, Ray. Hi. You hungry?
Occasionally, whenever they feel like it, they might call you and say, hey, mom, hey, dad, I'm going to swing by, or they're just going to drop in. Now, at assisted living, it's just a little more different because of schedule. So, let's say you're at an assisted living community and you decided to play cards one day, or you're going out shopping with some people, or you're doing a tour somewhere or something like that, or meal times at a certain time. So it might just be a little harder to schedule visits, but of course your loved ones are always welcome to come visit you at any time. All right, now let's talk about the cost. So this is usually the biggest factor when making a decision. Both in-home care and assisted living, it depends on the area you live in, the level of care needed, and if you're going to be hiring a caregiver directly or through an in-home care agency. So if you're hiring directly, expect to pay between $17 and $30 an hour. If you're going to be going with an agency, expect to pay around $35 to $50 an hour. Now, you might be asking me, well, Nate, which one do you recommend? We have more information in other videos about that. But basically, it's if you want to try to find a caregiver on your own or go through an agency. Both, in my opinion, have pros and cons. It's just if you go with an agency, it's a lot easier just to call an agency. They've already screened all the people. They have caregivers available, and, they can get you going almost same day. But if you're doing it on your own, it's, you're learning to screen people, you're trying to figure out what works, you're doing the interviewing, etc. But then there's other things involved with that. But so just in general, if you're just going on your own, remember $17 to $30 an hour. If you're going with an agency, about $30 to $50 an hour. All right, so now assisted living. The normal range is between $3,500 and $7,000 a month. Now, of course, this varies based on factors such as location, level of care, and additional services. But just purely looking at the math on this and not looking at all the other factors that go into making this decision, you got to look at the hours needed per day for in-home care. So what I suggest you do is take the number of hours of care needed daily, multiply that by the hourly dollar amount. Then multiply that by 30 days to see what you come up with for an estimated monthly cost. Now, the numbers can get big real fast with in-home care depending on the amount of hours needed. So let's do some math here together. Now, let's just to keep the numbers simple. Let's say we're going to be spending $25 an hour for a caregiver for in-home care. Okay? So just hang with me with the math. And I'm not a math major. I'm throwing that out. I have my handy dandy calculator on my iPhone ready and willing here in a second. But let's just say you needed 4 hours of care a day and you're paying $25 an hour. So that's $100 a day. Okay? $100 a day times 30 days is $3,000. So you're probably asking yourself, why did Nate pick $25? That was just, I felt, a decent average. That would be if you're finding a caregiver by yourself, but I'm trying to keep the numbers a little lower just as an example. And then also 25 was really easy to do mental math. Now, let's just say if you needed it 8 hours a day. So at 8 hours a day, that's $6,000 a month, and then the numbers just keep climbing. So what I want to do, yes, I'm using the iPhone calculators. Let's say you just needed 24 hours of care a day times 25. That's $600 a day. Okay. Now, when we multiply that by, that was going to be an easy one. I'm almost embarrassed. $18,000. Okay. So for in-home care, if you were doing full-time at $25 an hour, that'd be $18,000. At that point, it's like, well, wait a minute. I could go to a really nice assisted living. Let's just say on average, depending on your area, even if it was an expensive area, let's say it was $7,000. It's like, I'm still saving $11,000. The decision between in-home care and assisted living is a critical one, impacting the well-being, comfort, and overall quality of life of you or your loved one. By recognizing the differences between these two options, you can make informed choices that align with your or their unique needs, preferences, and financial considerations. Now, I would love to hear in the comments below if you have been considering either in-home care or assisted living, and which one are you leaning towards and why? And remember, if you would like help finding an assisted living community near you, we would love to talk. Just click on the link pinned in the comments to schedule that call. Well, I'm Nate Morrissey, and I hope this helped you get closer to making an informed decision. We have great info-packed videos in our playlist, and we look forward to getting you more information.